Hi, welcome to The Passionate Spinner. My name is Tracy and this is a book related video today. I have been in the biggest reading slump ever. I haven't read a single book since I filmed my last book haul, which has been like 7 weeks now. And I also have a co-host today. This is Loki, my cat. But I have a new book haul, because if I'm not reading, at least I need to buy more books because that makes sense, right? So I have some books to share with you. Not as many as last time because I also haven't bought books in a few weeks now. So at least that's one good thing, right? I'm going to just start at the top with no reason to it, just, the way they are in front of me. So the first one that I have to share is called The Bride Goes Rogue by Joanna Shupe. This is a romance novel. And this is not the first one in a series. It's a series, but in a way where every book is a standalone. And this is the one that I was interested in reading, so I got it. I have no idea what it's about because I forgot between buying and now. Next up is another romance. It's called Two Wrongs Make a Right. It's by Chloe Lees. And I just really like Chloe Lees' books. So it says opposites become allies to fool their matchmaking friends. So, like, probably a fake dating. My other cat says hello. Fake dating, which is one of my favorites. And if it's enemies to lovers, it's even better. Gizmo. Okay. Then, next is another romance novel, but this time it's fantasy romance. And it is called Half a Soul. It's by Olivia Atwater. And this is the first book in a series. And it's about fairies. But that is all I know about it. It's difficult to find a husband in Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. That's what it says on the back. And I heard that this is like super cozy, low stakes, just, a cozy read, which sounded great to me when I bought this. So then I have a German book. I think it's the only German book for this round. It's called Die Magische Krone von Lyonesse by Sandra Regnier. And it's a fantasy book. I'm sorry, this is my cat, and yes, he does that every day. Gizmo! Okay, so yeah, it's a fantasy novel. It's all I know about it. I got a book called Life Sentence by A.K. Turner, and is the sequel to Body Language, is the first book. And this is about a mortician, mortuary technician. Okay. And it's crime novels. So just had to have that. Then we have A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas. It is the first book in the Lady Sherlock series. And I feel like I talked about this one before, but hey, let's just go with it. So in this one, we follow Charlotte Holmes, who is not very well taken in, as a lady detective. So she starts working under a pseudonym and calls herself Sherlock Holmes. So that's what that is. I have another thriller. It's called The Sanatorium. Also, I'm not sure if I talked about that one before. It's a closed circle murder mystery. Then we have King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett Sinclair, which is a vampire romance. Another Chloe Lees. It's called Only When It's Us, the first book in the Berkman Brothers series. And these last 3, I'm not sure, the last 4, maybe I talked about those in the last one. I don't remember. Now, this one might be a bit of a shock. I got Fairy Tale by Stephen King. And yes, I had that from the library for like 7 weeks. And I read 15 pages. So, problem is, what I discovered for me, I love libraries. I think it's the best idea ever, right? But when I get a book from the library, it puts pressure on me because I have to read it now. because I have to do it. And as soon as I have to do something, I lose all interest in that something. And sadly, that also goes for library books. But I really want to read fairy tale, so I bought it. I got the UK edition because I love this cover a lot more than the other one. And yeah, I'm gonna continue where I left, on page 15. So that's the first one in a now longer bit of fantasy books. I wanted, no, I don't think that's correct. I wanted to get back into fantasy books because fantasy was my first love, The first thing or the first genre I ever fell in love with when it came to books was fantasy. And I got a lot of fantasy books. I got the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty series by Ken Liu, and it's called The Grace of Kings. And it is gorgeous. It's such a pretty book. It's the first book in a 4-book series, and the whole series is like that one, looks like this. But I'm just super excited about this. This is all high fantasy, what we're talking about now. Then I got Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson, and it is the first book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, which by many is one of the best fantasy series ever. Problem is, it's 10 books long, so I'm starting with the first one. Then I have another first in a very long series, and that is The Eye of the World, which is the first book in the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. This is a 14-book series, and this is a hefty book, right? But talking about hefty books, I bought 3 books in the Stormlight Archives series by Brandon Sanderson. I did not get the 4th one because it had different dimensions. It was a different size, and I hate that. So I got the first 3. I got The Way of Kings, which is book 1 in the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. And book 1 of this series has over 1,200 pages, right? Then we have book 2, Words of Radiance, Stormlight Archives, book number 2 by Brandon Sanderson. And this has 1,300 pages. And book 3 is called Oathbringer. And they're super tiny, but they're like, oof. And it also has over 1,300 pages. So these are super thick books. And can you see how tiny that is? Tiny, tiny, tiny writing. Okay. Now, I am left with 3 nonfiction books, and they are all about the same thing. I bought 3 books about this subject, recovering from narcissistic mothers, because I want to read about that for very obvious reasons. So this is the first one that I got. It's by Branda Stevens. Then I got You're Not Crazy, It's Your Mother by Danu Morrigan. I just love the title of that one. And I got Will I Ever Be Good Enough? Healing the Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers by Carol McBride. And there's a question that I ask myself a lot. So, I think that these will be good reads for me. And this is my book haul for this time. It's not as much as it could have been, but I also haven't been reading anything since the first week of March. So, yeah, I really hope that I will get over this reading slump very soon, because it's just very frustrating for me right now. Yeah, that is all I have for you today. I hope you are having a wonderful reading time, not like I do, better. And I will see you in my next video, either crafting related or book related, whatever floats your boat. So have a good time.